All right, welcome back. I am Kris. This is TSG Spotlight, and I'm actually sitting with another person from the gym that I know through my gym, Luke Freshwater. He is the, I'm going to call you owner-operator of, what is it, Bryson?
Silver Lake Bison Farm.
Silver Lake Bison Farm, a new farm, a new business that he's starting out in the Granville area, correct?
Yep.
So, I guess the first question, Luke, is what brought you to this point? How did you get here? I mean, I know we talked about it a little bit, but let everybody know so they know kind of the story is really cool. Have you start just from that beginning that we talked about a little bit ago, because I think that's just a cool way to start it all.
Yeah, so I'll start from the beginning. So my background is I used to be a bomb squad leader in Afghanistan. So bravery is something that I really value, and I work with some really brave men and women, right, in Afghanistan, working in the special operations community. So I'm also the father of 5 kids, so all 7 and under. So I was thinking, yes, it's a lot of kids. Yeah, you're welcome to come babysit anytime.
No, I got 3 my own. I'm good.
So I was thinking about ways that I can encourage my kids to be brave, right, especially with COVID and everything going on. Like, how do I encourage these kids to be strong and do hard things, you know, that kind of thing. So I use this a nice analogy of a bison. So in real life, when a bison is facing a storm, like if a storm's coming over the hills, say out in South Dakota or out west, right, you picture like these beautiful plains. Instead of running away from it like a cow or other animals, they choose to face it head on. And so I started using this analogy of face the storm with my kids and teaching them this bison analogy and, you know, embrace your inner bison or be like the bison, right, those types of things. And so that's kind of how it all started, just tying my background in, you know, the bomb squad teams with having lots of kids and trying to encourage them to be brave. And so we started, me and a good friend of mine started writing a children's book together. Something I always wanted to do was write a children's book. And so we decided, let's use this bison analogy. And so we titled the book Bryson, the Brave Bison, that we're publishing with Zonder Kids, which is an imprint of HarperCollins. And the book is going to be hopefully available, I think, in store, or not in stores, but online pre-sales this month. But it won't be available in stores until June.
Well, like I said, let us get that link so we can put that out here. So whoever wants to get an idea of this and what it is, we can do that for you. So.
Yeah. So Bryson the Brave Bison, children's book kind of turned into this really cool. We're just doing something small and just something fun for our kids, and it turned into something a lot bigger. So we have Richard Cowdery, who's a New York Times best-selling illustrator. He did, I think it was Super Bowl 32, the cover of that when it was out in San Diego. He's partnered with the Cincinnati Zoo with multiple Fiona the Hippo books. Just an incredible guy. So he's doing our illustrations for the book. And then obviously we have a great publishing team that's going to be behind it. So that's the one side of the children's book, but then we also have, obviously you mentioned Silver Lake Bison Farm. Right. So we're going to be, as a family, moving out to land out in Granville, and we're in the process right now actually of putting all the infrastructure in place for the farm and our house being built. And we're going to be bringing Bryson to life. That's in the book. So cool. He's going to be the herd bull of Silver Lake Bison Farm. And we're having an Airbnb out there where families and people can come when they're in town. You know, there's no petting Bryson. Would not recommend that.
I don't think that'd be a great idea.
For any of you that have seen like you ever seen like the Yellowstone videos, right? And people like getting too close to the bison.
Yeah.
So it's not going to happen at my farm. But, you know, we'll find ways for people to, you know, see Bryson.
Will he read the books to the kids?
Yeah, we'll work on that. We'll
get him to talk. You
if I can do that,
ton of money for that.
If I can
let us know. We'll bring the cameras and we will document.
You'll be my first call. If I can pull that off.
Hey, he talks. Let's go.
So we're gonna have like a farm store out there. We're gonna be eventually selling bison meat, apparel. We're gonna have a little meeting space out there next to the Airbnb where teams can come out, small teams, and do meetings there.
So you can do like retreats, conferences, small retreats, small conferences, stuff like that. That'll be cool.
Yeah, exactly. So we're super excited about it as a family, obviously, to raise our kids out on the bison farm and teach them, you know, the work ethic, but also just using this analogy and seeing mom and dad go through, you know, this dream of ours to create this farm and children's book. And we're hoping multiple Bryson books come out. So
okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot you got going on. When will all this farm be open? You mentioned the book will be online next month. You said June it'll come out?
June it'll be in like stores, Barnes & Noble.
So that's a really cool piece of all this. But when will the farm be up and ready and running, do you think? I mean, when you say is always, you know, hit or miss, but when are you thinking? When are you planning?
Yeah, so we actually just met on Saturday with the fencing guy, so I'm working on the fencing right now. The plan is, with winter coming, the best time, you don't really want to do a lot of fencing right now, so the fence hopefully will go up in March. I'm hoping to get the corral system in sometime April, May timeframe. So then basically all the infrastructure will be set up for us to get the herd, and then kind of the final step in that May, June timeframe is we're going to go find an awesome herd bull to be Bryson, and then me and my buddy, we're trying to figure out where we want to get the herd from. But
that was going to be a question. Like, you can't really just go up to Walmart. Like, I need a herd of bison. I need this really strong Bryson the bison guy. Like, where are you going to get this thing?
Yes.
To, like, I remember growing up, my grandpa owned a farmette, so we'd go to these auctions and he'd buy and sell, everything basically, animals, equipment, stuff. So is that what you're doing, or is there like a spot where you go and they breed these? Like, how does that all work?
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything else. Like, there's a class. Like, I'm a member of the National Bison Association that I just recently joined because there's opportunities, right? Yeah. So there's classifieds out there. I'm getting emails all the time of different herds.
Bison Craigslist.
Bison Craigslist. Cool. You got it. So So then the hard part is like, okay, well, not all are equal, right? Yeah. So it's like, how do we make sure that we're buying from the right herd with the right genetics? And so we'd like to maybe get some from out west or someplace cool like that. But there's 2 local guys that are veterans as well here in the Central Ohio area that have been like a huge help. So Buckeye Bison and Pencil Bison Ranch are the 2 bison ranches that are in the area. These guys, Theodore and Jeb, have been super helpful, helping me out. Cool. So I'll lean on them to make sure I don't buy a dud of a bull.
So when we were talking before, you had mentioned, I don't want to really call it a charity thing, but it's a mission for fatherless kids, you said, correct?
Yeah.
So you want to kind of talk about that a little bit real quick, because I think that's an extremely important thing to highlight before we get done with all of this. So the floor on that. I think this is a really cool thing.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously I love being a dad and parenting, or I shouldn't have 5 kids. So so they keep me busy. One of my passions is just fatherless children, right? Specifically boys. So there's 3 young boys, and I guess where I learned this, kind of found this passion, was I mentor 3 young boys right now that I actually take to the gym and work out. They go to church with me, and we've been doing this for a couple years now. And they're just incredible kids. They're Nigerian. They don't really have a relationship with their fathers back in Nigeria, and it just showed me. I partner with their mom and how much she appreciates it, how much they get out of this, and how much I get out of it. Yeah. And so it really just kind of ignited that passion, and I guess also just seeing how much of a need there is. I think there was a study that was done. It's like 75% of Americans think that fatherlessness is the #1 family, issue or challenge, however you want to word it, across America right now. And there's all kinds of statistics, right, of whether it's how many that go to prison that don't grow up without fathers, or mental health issues, you name it. You can Google it. So, obviously being in the thick of dad life / just really seeing how passionate I am and how people don't have. I grew up with a great father, and I hope that I can be. But the goal is, through this farm, is to be able to bring fatherless kids out to the farm, do retreats, events, however you want to word it, where they come out for a day or multiple days, and we get to kind of teach them through the bison. I mean, they're going to think they're super cool, obviously, right? Yeah. And then we have the children's book to tie it in with them. Right. And we can use Bryson as an analogy for these kids to teach them how to be brave, and they're going through challenging times, obviously, without a dad at home. So it's like, how do we encourage them to have this courage to still face these hard things that they're going through? So that's kind of our dream on the farm.
That's a really cool extra layer to everything. I think you hit everything. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to mention that you don't feel like you mentioned? I mean, you got a book, a farm. You basically have 8 kids. I know we talked about some real estate stuff that you're looking at and you're talking about. I mean, I'm a serial entrepreneur. He's going to be even bigger of a serial entrepreneur, it sounds like. So I think it's really, really cool. Do you have anything else that you're hiding from us that you didn't tell us that you want to talk about, or anything else you want to add before we get off of this?
No, I think that's probably plenty, but we appreciate definitely the support. So follow Silver Lake Bison Farm. Yes. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, right? All the social media channels. And then Bryson the Bison is the same thing on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all those channels. We would love for everyone to, follow the farm, come check us out, come, purchase the book, and send us any feedback that you have. We'd appreciate it.
And what we'll do, actually, we'll lock it in, and when everything's up and running, we'll come out and we'll do on location. We'll do this again. Maybe we'll get Bryson in the background and have him read us the book or something like that. But thank you for coming out. I'm looking forward to being able to come out and check, whether we do it on camera or we just bring my kids out and just see everything, because the message that you're putting out there is an extremely, extremely strong, and I think it's a very welcome message this day and age. So thank you for your time. Let us know if you have any questions about this. We're going to get that book link. We'll put it in there for you. Continue to follow, like, share, whatever. If you have any questions for Luke, drop them for us. We'll get them in touch with you guys. And thank you for watching.